Here's another live look this morning at the Orlando area right now as Tropical Storm Ian is making its way through that part of Florida. All the big resorts in that area, including Disney World, are closed because of the storm. 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi is in Tampa right now. He's helping out our sister station there.
So, Chris, this storm was a lot stronger when it hit your area yesterday. Talk about what you went through and what you're seeing now.
Yeah, hey Gary, hey Corey. So where I'm standing right now, I'm at our sister station. In fact, just behind our sister station's backup studio here in Tampa. Now, here in Tampa, St. Petersburg, we didn't get the worst of the storm, but over 1 million people in the Tampa Bay area are without power right now. Over 2.5 million customers statewide here in Florida are without power. In fact, you can kind of see behind me, there's a branch down on a power line about a little ways off there. You probably can't see it all that well, but that's the big story here in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area. That said, about 75 to 100 miles to our south, that's where the real devastation appears to be ongoing this morning, where it's beyond the issues of down power. What we're talking about in places like Fort Myers and Punta Gorda is a 10-foot plus storm surge that has led clearly to quite a bit of destruction and perhaps devastation out that way. That'd be in Lee and Collier counties. But here in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Gary and Corey, I guess bit of good news is that the worst of the storm, at least specifically for us, stayed to our south, which meant that here we had a lot of down trees, down power lines. I'll say this, last night, I know my director, Alex Kirk, who's shooting this video right now, we were talking about this just a short while ago. It was tough to sleep last night. I mean, the wind was rattling around. We had wind gusts here, about 75 to perhaps 80 miles an hour. So that's hurricane force. So it was no joke here between about 6 and 10 p.m. last night. The good news is that the worst of the winds, at least good news specifically for Tampa, the worst of those winds stayed off to our south.
Yeah, what are the reporters at that station hearing from the people that rode out the storm? You know, millions of people I know evacuated, but some decided to stay. Was it kind of what they thought it was going to be?
I think in most cases it was probably worse than what people thought it was going to be. Even here in Tampa, we knew as of yesterday morning that the bulk of the storm was going to stay to our south. But here in Tampa, again, it was not a glancing blow. This was a pretty good strike that we got here. Again, more than 1 million folks are without power this morning. And the other thing is, this storm is a tracked inland. A place like Orlando, Kissimmee, Central Florida, talking about widespread flash flooding out there. More than a foot worth of rain out in central parts of Florida. The east coast of Florida seeing 10 inches plus worth of rainfall. So I would say, at least in terms of locals here, there's probably a bit of a feeling that we dodged perhaps the very worst of it. But again, it certainly was more than a glancing blow for us.
Yeah, the images that we've been seeing, the video from there is just incredible. Chris, I know you've been working around the clock, so thank you so much for taking the time to give us a lay of the land of what you're seeing there. I'm glad that everyone there where you are is safe.